Hello everyone, I have another 10 cards, 1 kit to share today with Spellbinders Card Kit of the Month, March 2021, Celebrate Spring. On to card number 1. There's this beautiful, I say beautiful a lot, but this is a beautiful floral pattern that I really loved when I first saw the paper pad. Definitely wanted to use it, and I think it features in a couple, maybe a few cards. So we're going to cover the entire card front with that and take a strip of the gold card that comes in the kit. And I believe I have put the measurements up at the beginning of each card, always inches. And then this is a die cut that I've used the mounting tape on, and that comes in the die cut pack. And I'm going to place that kind of on the left there. And then I've used 3 pieces of the die cut foliage, one of this particular design here, and there's 2 of the other leaf. The die cut pack comes with 2 of each design, so I just used one of this one here that I'm putting on the left, and I used both of the smaller gold leaf foliage pieces down on either side there. And then there's this kind of a foam sticker set. I'm using this sentiment, Life is Sweet, from that dimensional foam sticker. And that's it for card number 1. Pretty fast, simple. Card number 2, I'm going to use the cardstock. It's a kind of a charcoal gray color. I'm just calling it gray here. And then 2 rectangles of the pattern paper. And one I am calling the blue brush stroke. And then the yellow floral. I'd already adhered them together here, just offset. Kind of almost meeting together on the lower left corner there. And then put the double-sided stick tape. And then there are these butterflies that come. They're dimensional. They're kind of a foil sticker. A little bit hard to get off there. And then the wings are like an acetate, printed acetate. And I'm going to place that in the lower left and use my bone folder here to help me get a good adhesion without my fingers getting in the way. And then again, the foam sticker set. And this one says Happy Days. And that's going to be my sentiment down there in the lower right. And that is it for card number 2. On to card number 3, I'm going to use 3 different pattern papers in a variety of rectangle sizes. Going to start with the blue dot one, and I like the little white border, so I'm putting it about 1/8 of an inch from the edges. And then I'm taking the yellow floral pattern one, and it overlaps slightly. The measurements I gave were the measurements that I used with that little bit of overlap, I believe, if that makes sense. And then this pink stripe one is going to go on the bottom. So I'm just eyeballing that kind of 1/8 inch edge and not worrying about a little overhang against over each of the pattern papers. And then again, a gold strip where all 3 papers meet, going across the portrait orientation of the card. And then I'm going to take this die cut piece. It's a banner pole. It says happiness. And I used a little bit of wet glue on the pole, but there's a dimensional foam sticker. Oh no, actually, I'm sorry, that's a different one. I think I'm putting this whole thing down flat. And then You Are My Sunshine. This is a die cut from the pack. Put that down. And then I'm going to take the gemstones and pick out 3 of them. I think, let's see, a yellow, the tiny pink, and then the medium-sized blue one. And if you don't push them down right away, sometimes you can kind of move them a little bit. That's what I'm doing here, is I just barely set them down, and then now I pushed them down for good. Then they're stuck on. And that's it for card number 3. On to 4, I'm going to use the yellow cardstock. Beautiful, bright, and again, we're going to have that little 1/8 of an inch border. And then this green floral is again featuring, this time it's just a 1/2 inch strip, and I'm going to put that down. It's maybe like 3/8 of an inch from the edge there. No, maybe 5/8, I'm not sure. It's a little over 1/2 inch, I think, from the edge there. And then another 1/2 inch strip of gold. And I had a little bit of excess there that I just trim off. And then we're going to take the die cut of the wood slice, the kind of green one, and put that down there on some dimensional tape there. And this is the one where I used the wet glue on the pole and the foam tape on the banner, and it's just so lovely, and it's just barely peeking out from the wood slice there. Then I'm going to take another one of the butterfly stickers, this one's the yellow one, and place that onto the wood slice. There's a little bit of overhang there on the right, which I might add some baby powder to that so it doesn't stick to anything, but other than that, it should be fine. And then Treasure This Moment die cut with the mounting squares, and again, I'm going to use the gemstones on this card, and I'm kind of just looking at the colors because I hadn't really decided. And I think I'm going to go with, let's see, and I actually had some trouble getting them off with their adhesive, but I'm going to go with the largest of the pink, the medium yellow, and then the smallest of the green one. And just place them there in the bottom right, fiddle with them a bit, and that's it for card number 4. On to card number 5. Now this pattern paper was one of my favorites when I saw the pattern papers. I'm starting with a gray piece of the cardstock that is cut to the entire card front, and then what I was calling, I think, colorful damask. This really reminds me of a gel print, and I've been playing with the jelly plate and gel press plate lately and really enjoying that. In fact, I did make a few cards with my gel prints, and I'll try to include a link in the video, so if you want to check that video out. Then I'm going to take the pink cardstock in a wide strip here and the gold right across the center of the pink. And then I'm going to do a lovely little cluster of die cuts and things. This is the teacup. Oh, I loved that die cut. And then this was the frame that had a different colored butterfly in the center that I popped out and just added some of the gray cardstock behind. And then I'm taking the other gold foliage and then one of these green pieces of foliage. And I think I need to trim off a little bit of that gold stem because it's bumping into my mounting tape that is holding my teacup. And I wanted it to be entirely on the card front, not hanging over and trimmed. And again, with the green one, I think I do trim that down as well. Yep, there go the scissors. Trim that down so it fits just right. And I did kind of lift up my double-sided tape there on the frame to get that in there. So it's a visual cluster that goes right all the way across the card there. And then using my bone folder to get that stuck down with the wet glue there. Here's the butterfly that I used. This is not the one that was ensconced in the frame originally, but it did come in the die cut pack. And then this wonderful banner was actually one of those flagpole banners. I trimmed off the pole, and I also fussy cut the white edges off. Because I liked the color, I wanted that sentiment, I liked how it went with the card, and then these two hearts are from the die cut pack also. I just glued them together, put some mounting tape, and that's it. Card number 5. On to card number 6. Ooh, I loved this pattern paper too. Real fun clovers. It reminds me of the clovers when I was a child, picking clovers and playing with them, and the bees, the bumblebees loved those too. And then we have a piece of white cardstock and then the purple damask. So I'm going to put the purple right in the center of the white piece, and then that is going to go as centered as I can get it onto the clover as well. And then I'm going to take the clover die cuts and show you those here in a moment. There are 3 different sizes, and they come with 2 each, but I'm just going to use one. I put the mounting squares on the largest one, and I'm kind of putting them right around the midpoint there. Then I'm going to just use wet glue to adhere the smaller and the medium. The smaller one's going to go on the top right, and the medium one on the bottom right. And then there are these 2 die cut sentiments. One says love this with the green and cherished with the purple. I just used a piece of gold twine and tied them together. And then I am going to use some wet glue to adhere them down in the bottom left of the card. I want most of the cherished to show through, but I'm okay with some of it hiding because I think a can figure out what it says from that. And then I add a little bead of glue to the twine because it kept kind of coming untied. And then I'm going to tighten it right here and just trim off a little bit of the excess. A little bit is okay. I don't mind that hanging out. And that's it for card number 6. On to card number 7. I'm going to use this window pattern paper. And this one is going to cover the whole card front. And this one is very directional, so be careful which way you put it on your card. Yes, the windows are only going really one way, up and down. And then a piece of white cardstock and pink, the kind of more hot pink, more deeper pink that comes in the kit. And this time I'm not quite centering it. It's more centered left and right, but closer to the top of the card. And then I'm pulling out the dies that come in the kit. Ooh, I just love this bunny. He's so cute. In fact, you know, during the filming, I kept oohing and awing over these cute little critters. So I just cut him out in white, and then his nose, cheek, and ears are in the other pink cardstock that comes in the kit, not the hot pink one. So then there are, again, these 2 little hearts. I already used the green one before, so this is the second one. And then the dies come with these stems. And I cut those out of the minty cardstock, and I am going to make little heart flowers out of those. So my little jewel picker wasn't really working. I kept trying to pick it up with that, but I end up using my fingers, and I'm gluing these hearts onto the stems. And you guessed it, that's right, the little bunny, he's going to be holding these cute little heart flowers. And I had so much fun. His little paw can lift up, and so it's lifted up. I didn't adhere that down when I adhered the bunny down. And I'm tucking the stems within his paw there. And I'm just kind of fiddling with it so it's not covering his cheek too much. And he's holding a bouquet of love, of heart flowers. And what's next here? Let's see. I don't even remember what I'm going to do next. Oh, I had these 2 die cuts. They're like tickets. It says Love Always and Friends Forever ticket. So going to place those in the bottom right and kind of just offset of each other. And then the foam stickers again. This one says Loved, and I'm going to place that below the bunny, across my, card mat there, and just touching, the D is just touching that yellow ticket. So it's all connected. And then another of the foam stickers is a little heart here. I'm going to put on the pink ticket. Then pulling out the stamp set, this sentiment, You Are Not Alone, comes with a coordinating die, which is great. I love the look of that, so much more than my fussy cutting. And that's it for card number 7. On to card number 8. I have this kind of postage stamp looking die. I used to have a really great pair of decorative scissors that did that look, and it disappeared. But I'm really glad I have this. So I'm starting with the green cardstock, and that's going to be just smaller than the card front. Place that down. Then the pink bunnies paper, so cute. I'm going to take a strip of that and put it down at the bottom. I'm just covering up some of the green cardstock. That was easiest for me. And here's that text paper. This one I also loved. I wanted to use that right away when I saw the flip through of the pattern papers. And so I really like how it came together with this card. And I also really loved the foam sticker that's a stamp. Now these are the die cut bunnies that come in the die cut pack. And so I put them up on the mounting squares, and I'm putting the little bow bunny down and then the clover bunny next to him. And again, here's the stamp, the foam sticker set where that stamp image comes from. And I'm just going to put him anchoring the left hand of the card there. And I pulled out 3 of the foam sticker hearts. One I'm going to put in between the 2 bunnies. Then I have this die cut sentiment that came in the die cut pack. It says Adored. And that's going to go in the bottom right there, and I'm just going to put the 2 hearts, little foam hearts, next to it. And that is it for card number 8. Card number 9. Again, this was a favorite pattern paper that I knew I wanted to use, and actually I kind of struggled to figure out how I was going to use it. But I came together with this idea using the die. This is the die that cuts out that border die. I cut it actually 4 times, sort of unintentionally. I wanted to cut it twice, and I overlapped that center clover there. But then when I was, I guess, manhandling it, I ripped it apart. And then I thought, hey, more dimension, not a bad thing. So I cut it 2 more times and just glued those on top of it. And it worked out great. And my ruler needed to come out. I was having a hard time getting things straight this time around. So I'm using the ruler to help me there. And so in real life with this card, there is the dimension because there's, the 2 die cuts layered on top of each other. But the centerpiece is even slightly higher because it's got extra overlapping, if that makes sense. Now this die cut, Friends, comes in the kit. And then I stamped out Good Friends Are a Great Gift in the Panama Rose ink there, the Nouveau Hybrid ink. I did the corner rounding on 2 sides there. And I attached that flower pot die cut there. And those are all on some dimensional tape that I have that's a little bit thinner than the stuff that comes in the kit. And that's it for card number 9. And card number 10 is, I'm going to build a scene here. So I'm using a lot of the stamp set. I used the With Love sentiment and the From Your Friends that come with coordinating dies. And here, if you want to pause the video and look at the way I colored, I just picked out a variety of alcohol markers from my random assortment to color those animals. And some green cardstock, the blue cardstock. I used this wavy die to get the hills, but you could hand cut that. And for my sun and cloud, I have some footage I'm going to slip in here to show you just briefly how I did that. I cut a 1 1/4 inch circle out of this scrap of white card and used some blending brushes to get that initial circle there. And if you like that look with the crisp edges, that's great, but I kind of wanted it less crisp. So then I took the circle and I held it over there and just kind of brushed to the sides to get kind of what looks like rays coming off the sun. That was my idea. That's what I was going for there. And to make it a little more of a fuzzy border. And for the cloud, I do have a cloud stencil. I wasn't feeling it. So what do? Well, draw your own cloud. And it is not a precise thing at all. And then I cut it out, fussy cut it out, and really the lines you want to care about are the ones you're using the scissor with. It doesn't matter the pencil. So then I took my homemade little paper mask stencil there and place it there on the card, and again a blending brush, and I think this is broken china. The other was fossilized amber, just some inks I had, yellow and blue roughly. And this one I'm doing very lightly. I just want a subtle cloud. I tried this a few times. I definitely recommend practicing unless you have a tried and true method. And then I'm kind of fuzzing the edges there, right there, very carefully. And that's how I got that look. So I did have a boo-boo there. You can see some ink on the bottom, but it's going to get covered up, so no worries there. And then I'm just figuring out where I want these hills, and I'm going to make a little mark on the side with my pencil so that I can put the top hill down first, because I'm going for a layered look here, and I'm using that thinner mounting tape that I have, and so I'm placing the top hill down first, and then this bottom hill I've doubled the mounting tape on the very bottom edge, and I'm kind of showing you here. You can kind of see there's a variety of dimension. And then the animals can come on top. I've just put some of the mounting tape on their top half and wet glue on the bottom. Down goes the fox and the bunny, and they're having a little chat towards the top of the card. And then the squirrel and the deer here are at the bottom. A happy little cluster of animals, woodland creatures. And then we'll take the sentiments, well, my bone folder to get them down, From Your Friends, and that one's die cut out nicely. I don't think I could fussy cut that. And use some wet glue to place that down at the bottom. And then the With Love, I've used a little bit of that thin mounting tape. And then I'm showing you, this heart comes out of the die cut clover. So I had a few of those extra, and I'm actually going to use them in the bottom right hand side of the card for a little trio of gold hearts here. And that's how I'll finish this off. And that's it for card number 10. fun, fun, fun. I love those critters. I hope you enjoyed watching. Have a great day. Thanks again. Bye.